Hey everybody, welcome back to another painting tutorial on Tabletop Anarchy, and today is time for the Grumman F4F Wildcats. So I hope you enjoy the tutorial and I hope it helps. The first step, as always, is just put a quick primer down, and for that I used a light grey. The first paint you want to get is a Vallejo white grey, and this one you want to apply to the entire bottom side of the plane. It didn't cover amazingly, so I did end up putting 2 or 3 coats on, but obviously just let it dry in between coats, it does cover better. But obviously, yeah, just do the entire bottom side of the plane as if you've literally cut the plane in half, as you'll see in the video in a minute. But once them coats are dried, it's ready to move on to the next step. This step now is for ease of painting. If you've seen my tutorial on how to fix the wobbly base and to stop the planes from falling over, this is when I applied my Hawk widget now, so I could obviously put it on a stand to make it easier to paint. But if you're obviously not doing this, just avoid this step. But yeah, once it's glued on, it just makes it easy. You can put it on a stand to paint. Just get it into position, push it on, and it's ready to move on to the next step. The next paint you want to grab now is another Vallejo paint, and it's grey blue. This paint covered really well first time, so I only did apply 1 coat to this, but you want to apply it everywhere that isn't white. I used a big brush to get the bulk of it on, but I did drop to a smaller brush, as you'll see in a minute, just to get to the sort of the finer details underneath the sort of tail wings and stuff. But yeah, once this coat's applied, it's ready to move on to the next step. The next step is to apply the Canopy colour, and for this I got my trusty Griffin blue from Army Painter. And because they're 2 shades of blue, you haven't got to be too careful. I just sort of daubed it all over the whole sort of canopy and touched it after with a smaller brush to go back over with the grey blue. But again, Canopy colour is always a sort of a subject where people, you know, talk about what colours they like, so just pick one you like. I thought the 2 shades of blue in this looked quite good, but you could obviously go like a white colour, or, you know, whichever Canopy, but this is the time to apply it. But once you've finished that, that's that step complete. It's ready to move on to some more. The next step now is to colour the inside of the engine, and for that I use Necromancer Cloak from Army Painter. Pretty simple step, just sort of, you load your brush with quite a bit and just sort of push it in. Be careful not to go over the colours. I didn't have to touch up any at the ends, but if you do, obviously just get your previous colours out and just touch up the front of the engine. But once that step's complete, it's ready to move on to the next one. The last paint I used, as you can see, is just to do the sort of the little bit of the nose cone thing at the front. I just went over that with a bit of the white grey on the front of there. But that's all the paint you need, and that's ready to move on to your decals. As you can see, I've applied the decals and put a sort of a matte coat over the top. I don't think these are the specific sort of Wildcat decals. These are just ones I had lying about from the Mustang set, so I just put them on just to sort of finish them off a little bit. But once that's done and it's all been sort of sealed in with a bit of varnish or a bit of anti-shine or whatever, it's ready to move on to your wash. The final step of your tutorial is to apply wash, and for that I used Army Painter's Dark Tone and their Mixing Medium. Mixed it roughly 30% wash to 70% Mixing Medium. Being quite a light blue, didn't want to really overpower it too much and sort of darken it up. But basically apply that to the entire model and let it dry. Obviously if you want it a bit darker, just stick another coat on the top. But once that step's complete, that's the tutorial finished. Well, that's the tutorial finished, so I hope you enjoyed that and I hope it helps. The models came out better than I thought, because the white metal, I was a bit sceptical when I first got them out of the pack because there was quite a bit of sort of cleaning up to do, and then there's obviously the issue with the bases. But if you see my other tutorial, you'll see how to get past that issue. So these again will be featured on the channel at some point. I think we're going to get these and some Mustangs against some sort of zeros, or just throw them in there on a random game. But as always, if you like the video, like it. If you like the channel, subscribe.